Okay, go ahead. In the last video, I went over waiting on a CAS unit to be able to get this thing fired up. After getting the CAS, car still didn't fire up. I rechecked my tap. I ran from the CAS wire to the Holley brake pedal wire, and the side that was tapped on the CAS wire wasn't tapped down all the way. Squeezed it, was sitting outside of the car, pushed the brake pedal with my hand and hit the button, lit right up, and then I stopped it immediately, grabbed everyone, started it up, and I have that video. I'll show it if it hasn't already played. Okay, go ahead. Since then, got a few other things worked out. Figured out the steering shaft issue. Now the car has steering. Basically, it's not fully hooked up because we gotta go back to the parts car and get this grommet that goes around the steering shaft so water won't just fly up in there. Got that figured out. Have to figure out the exhaust from the headers down, because the headers kind of point in a crappy direction since they're hugger headers and come out right at the center. They point straight down. Kind of sucks, but limited on space, and I'll show you. Header off. This is the driver's side. As you can see, the steering shaft is semi hooked up down there, and so that's what we're looking at for space. And the exit comes down and it points about to where that line is, kind of. It doesn't touch it or anything, it's above it, but it would be a lot better if it went towards the back, came out near the oil filter, kind of, near that flange down there. But I don't know, we'll figure something out for that. This side all wrapped up. This one comes out right by the starter, so we'll probably have to move this metal shielding that's in the front because it's in the way, but should be no biggie on this side, actually. Now I've got my $85 Holley can plug-in, and I'm gonna hook it up and hook up the laptop and make sure all the sensors are good, because I know the oil pressure sensor wasn't working properly. It showed 102 psi and didn't move when the car was started. So there's a couple of things I'm gonna look at on the laptop that I can't see on the screen in the car. All works. This isn't plugged anymore. I forgot about that. Alright, hooked up the laptop, changed a few little sensor things that weren't set properly because the Holley assumed that it was a Holley sensor when it wasn't. So I got that kind of dialed. I believe I have to change the maybe the fuel pressure or the oil pressure sensor, and I'll have to like input variables at voltages and whatever. So I'm gonna end up doing that on the laptop, but the car was acting weird. I hooked up the negative terminal and then the brake light stayed on and the car was like humming like it was continuously priming. So I don't know what the fuck it's doing that for, but I don't know. Okay, in my room now. It was not the oil pressure sensor. The oil pressure sensor is already set up. Fuel pressure. I have to input all of the amounts that the low dollar motorsport gives you per voltage. So I'm just going through here at the bottom, changing the voltage to what the low dollar motorsport sensor says, and then adjusting the fuel pressure at that voltage. And that should give us a more accurate reading because it was set to the Holley one just by default. It doesn't ask you on the handheld. and I think that's hopefully why it was reading a little lower than what it should be. It was reading in the 40s and 50s, but the Holley is set up for the car to have 60 psi of fuel pressure, so it should flow 60. So that's why we got it hooked up like this, and assume it'll be more accurate after this. So I'm gonna go ahead, finish all these, and then show y'all what that looks like. I already started on these first couple 3. Okay, now this is what it looks like if you're using a $7.99 or $8.99 numbered low dollar motorsports sensor. This is a 100 psi sensor. They only read up to 4.5 volts. And this is what the scaling looks like. Some of the numbers in their diagrams are they have decimal points, so I just rounded down or up depending on if it was 0.3 I rounded down, if it was above 0.5 I rounded upwards. So those are all the values at the top for fuel pressure, and then at the bottom those highlighted blue ones are the values for the volts. So if you have the same one, set it up like this. If you don't, just read their diagrams. You can find them on their website, and this is how we adjusted it. And the reason why it must have been off so much is because I think the Holley default reads up to 200 psi at 5 volts, and the sensor I have doesn't. So hopefully this will get it more accurate. About to make a bracket. Use the stock bracket to make a bracket for the catch can. I couldn't find a good location because it's very crowded in there, so I think I'm going to mount it right next to the power steering. And so I'll take this bracket, and I think I'm going to make it connect right there so it'll bolt on, and then the pump will mount over here where my thumb is. So let's see if I mess this up. So I made a little mistake while mocking up the catch can, and I'll show you, and hopefully I can fix it. I forgot about the alternator, and there is absolutely no space. So I plan on just bending the bracket straight right here so it'll come back a little further, and then bend it so then hopefully these ones, or if I need to put my own, will be back in this corner a little more, which I don't even know if that'll work because I worry about the catch can touching this fender liner, but I don't know. We will see. I'm working on my car. How long do you think it'll be before it's on the road?
I hope you have it on the road by next month.
I think
I can pull my truck in there.
I think it'll be before then.
Before next month?
Yeah. Well, maybe at the start. I don't know. I just got to get a drive shaft, and I've got everything to hook the coolant up.
Have you done vacuum arms? Have you done your...
I'm hooking up the catch can right now. No.
Exactly.
Just got to make a little mount. Oh yeah, much better clearance. Bent the bracket twice, right here and here, and push the oil can back enough. So then this goes to the PCV valve in the back. I got the brake booster to the back of the intake, and then I've got this one running to the front of the intake here. I've got the 2 on the throttle body blocked off, this one blocked off, and this one will go to the intake wherever we decide to run it to. So I've just got it going to fresh air because that's what it will do anyways. So this header's back on, rack is hooked up, trim piece is put on. So I'm gonna load my fixed reading thing from last time and see how the car runs. Alright, that's going to wrap up this video. I didn't end up starting it like I said I was going to because my dad brought up a good point. First time he's ever done that. Um, Even though the O2 sensor is hooked up, it's not exactly like in exhaust at all. It's just sitting there, and I don't have the manifold air temp slash intake air temp sensor hooked up to anything. So that's definitely going to make the car run weird, and we don't want it to run lean. So don't want to mess anything up. So I gotta wait on some parts. I'm definitely gonna have to get a different expansion tank because I want it to be next to the power steering reservoir back there. So then I can I have space on the passenger side of the car to route the filter over there because it seems like there's easier access to run the piping to get the air filter over there. So gonna have to do that and order some other stuff to start on some exhaust and whatnot. So hope you guys enjoyed. It did start, so that's a good sign. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for following. I've had a lot of people DM me about swaps. I will make a frequently asked question video and kind of like a breakdown on cost and what to expect very soon. So hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Big shout out to Michael Page, Kyle Winters, who I got the plug and play harness from. He helped me out a bunch. And big thanks to Jeff Gordon on the Facebook page, helping me figure out how to route my PCV lines PCV lines, and also the coolant lines, which I haven't done yet, but I will. So thanks to those guys, especially Mike, the LS swap godfather for the Beamers. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments or hit me up on Instagram. I will always reply to swap questions and help you out as much as I can. So hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye.